For today, we're going to be looking at the box and whisker plot for our data set. Now, this is actually used by statisticians, so pretty interesting. Let's take a look. Today, on our notes, we're going to be working questions 37 through 40. So let's take a look. Number 37. First thing we're going to be doing when we look at data is organize it from smallest to largest. Very similar to what we did last week. So let's take a look. The smallest number that I see on my list is 22.3. Next, I want to go from smallest to largest. So 22.3, then 24.1. I see 25.5, 30, 32.2, 33.3, 34.3, 44.5, and 47.7. Again, all I did was I listed my numbers from smallest to largest. I know last week we talked about the median. So remember how we talk about the median is I'm going to cancel the smallest and the largest on my list. And then I'm going to do it again and again and again. I happen to find the median, right? Remember we talked about that last week. The median in this case, 32.2. Interesting part is that the median separated my numbers in half. So there's the lower half and the upper half. And then we talk about quartiles as well. Now looking at the four numbers on the left, if I want to find out the lower quartile, right, the number right in there, the one in between my bottom numbers, my lower quartile will have to be in between 24.1 and 25.5, the number right in between them. And the way I find out which one is between them, I add my numbers divided by 2. In this case, my lower quartile is 24.8. On the upper half, I'm going to find my upper quartile, right? The center of my upper half is in between the numbers 34.3 and 44.5. For me to find what's in the middle, I add my numbers divided by 2, and I get 39.4. All right, so I have a lower quartile, upper quartile, and I have the median in the center. Now, what I'm going to be doing for the box and whisker plot, let me get a number line. Make sure it includes all the numbers on the list. Notice I'm counting by twos. Each line I'm counting by twos. My smallest number on the list is 22.3. So I'm going to do a dot right where I see 22.3. My lower quartile is 24.8. Let me represent that with a little line. The median is 32.2. Let me represent that with a line. You guys can see it's right at 32.2. And my upper quartile is 39.4. I'm going to represent it with a line as well. And the biggest number is 47.7. When I represent that with a dot. Notice I represented the smallest number and the biggest number as dots, but my quartiles, my lower quartile, my upper quartile, and the median, I represented those as lines. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do my lines. I'm going to create a box. I'm going to close them up as a box. And I'm going to connect my smallest and biggest point. I'm going to connect them to my box with the little line segment. So see, I'm going to do it with my lower quartile, and I'm going to do it with my upper quartile as well. If you notice, it looks like a box in the center, and it looks like whisker, right? Like the cat whiskers. So that's why we call that a box and whisker plot. Now, this is very, very visual, right? You guys have heard of shots like the COVID shot, flu shot, right? Many shots. You guys come and they say, this shot is 95% good or 50% effective. Now, those numbers don't just come off from anywhere, right? Statistician, people that run stats, they look at information and they like using box and whisker plot, right? Box and whisker makes it very visual. You guys can see that I'm going to say everything inside the box is half of my numbers from the list. I know this is towards the left, the lower numbers, right? Statisticians use it a lot. I know in this class, sometimes people ask me, Mr. Leonzo, do you really think I'm going to be a statistician? My answer to that is, why not? Why not? Learn stats and you can become one of our statisticians in the future. All right, pretty simple, right? It looks like everything is towards the left. So it makes us see that our low numbers are on the list. All right, let's take a look at question number 38. I'm talking about big numbers in this case, right? In the thousands, the annual household income. So I'm going to see the smallest number I see is in the 7,000. So 7,150. Now let me go to the 10,000s. So I'm going to see 11,350, 15,200, 15,450, and 17,500. I know they're big numbers, but I'm looking at as thousands. Now let me look in the 20,000s. I have 23,750, 25,500, and 26,150. Now in the 30,000s, I have 30,650 and 30,500. I know the numbers are big, and intentionally, I like to do big numbers in lectures. All right, in the lecture, we can deal with big numbers. That means we can easily deal with small numbers in the homework. All right, let's do a number line here. But actually, first, let me find a median. I'm going to cancel the smallest number and the biggest number again, and again. I want the median. The median in this case, there's two numbers in the center, right? I'm going to say the median is right there in the middle. For me to find out what's the median or what numbers in the middle, I'm going to add those two numbers, 17,500 plus 23,750. My result, I'm going to divide it by 2, and that gives me 20,625. I found the median. Notice how there's 5 numbers on the left. So I'm going to find a number in the middle, which is 15,200. That's my lower quartile. Now on the right, there's 5 numbers as well. The number in the middle is my upper quartile. Now let me do my number line. Now I will go my number line. Notice how each line, each segment, it's 2,000, right? The K represents thousands. So notice on my number line, I have 8,000, 12,000, 16,000. But notice how I'm going by 4. So that means each distance between two lines is 2,000. All right, let me find the smallest number. The smallest number is 7,150. Let me represent that to the left of the 8,000. I'm going to represent that as a dot. My lower quartile is 15,200. So it's about here. The median is 20,625. So it's about here. The upper quartile is 26,150. And the biggest number that I see is 35,500. It's about there. Remember the 3 marks in the center, I'm going to close them up as a box. And my dots outside of my box, I'm going to connect them with line segments that make them look like a whisker. Okay, let's take a look at question number 39. Talking about some melting points. Now here, let me list my numbers from smallest to largest. So 17.8, 115.2, 639.4, 1,064, 1,085, 1,132, 1,455, 1,495, and 1,768. Okay. All right. Again, I like to deal with big numbers in the lecture because if we can deal with big numbers, then you guys can deal with small numbers in homework. So I list them from small to large. That's the hard part, really. Listing them from small to large. Let me find the median. I'm going to find a number in the center. Let me cancel the biggest and the largest. Again, the smallest and the largest. Again and again. So it gives me that the median is 1,085. I notice that to the left of my median, there's 4 numbers. I want to find the centered, and that will be in between 115.2 and 639.4, right? Right in between. For me to know exactly what's in between, I'm going to add my numbers divided by 2, and that gives me 377.3. Now let's take a look at the upper quartile. It's in between these two numbers. The number in between 1,455, and 1,495. The number that's right in between. For me to know exactly what's in between, I add my numbers divided by 2, and that gives me 1,475. Now let me do my number line. Each line, each little space, I'm counting by 200s. So keep that in mind. I'm counting by 200s. So my smallest number is 17.8. Let me represent that. My lower quartile is 377.3. My median is 1,085. My upper quartile is 1,475. And the biggest number on the list is 1,768. My 3 segments in the center, let me close them up as a box. And my points, let me connect them to the box as whiskers. And there's the box and whisker plot. All right, let's take a look at our last question, number 40 from our notes today. Let me list my numbers from small to large. So first, I'm on the list of 59, then 61, 67, 68. Now in the 70s, I see 73.12, 74, 79.5. On the 80s, I see 81 and 81. Let me find the median first, right? The number that is right in the middle. Let me cancel the smallest and the largest numbers from my list. Again, let me cancel the smallest and the largest again and again. My median happens to be 73.12. To the left of the median, there's 4 numbers. So I'm going to say the middle, like right in between them, it should be in between 61 and 67. Right? The number that is right in between 61 and 67. For me to know exactly what's in between, let me add my numbers divided by 2. So I'm going to say my lower quartile is 64. For my upper quartile, let me add 79.5 plus 81 divided by 2. That's going to give me 80.25. Let me do a number line. Notice that each space I'm going by 2s. So my smallest number is 59. We represent that as a dot. My lower quartile is 64. So I may represent that with the line. My median is 73.12. So it's about here. And my upper quartile is 80.25. My biggest number on the list is 81. My 3 marks in the center, those 3 lines, let me close them up as a box. And my points, let me connect them to my box with line segments and make them look like whiskers. So that's your box and whisker plot. You can easily do it on paper. Now, some of you might be wondering, how am I going to do this for the homework? For the homework, what I'm going to do, because it's online, I'm going to give it to you as a multiple choice. So you guys will see 4 choices. Make sure you know how to work on this. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.